Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jill's Office Freedom Formula. We have a new series called the Freedom Freaks, where we are interviewing people that are trying to find freedom by owning a business in a variety of different ways. So many different ways to have freedom. And we're super excited for our first guest today. Gus, this is Gus. You are 17, right, Gus? There's
Yeah.
17. He's our youngest Jill's Office client ever. The whole office was so excited. I don't know if you even know Gus when you signed up,
Oh,
because
wow.
you're like, who's this kid? He's amazing. And so we've been super
Yeah.
excited to meet you, and we're excited to talk to you today. But I'm just going to read this for a minute, just a little bit info of you. So you're a junior in high school, is that right?
Yeah.
And how long ago did you start your business?
I started like at the end of the spring of freshman year. So like about 2 years ago.
Okay, so you're a veteran. 2 years in business already, junior in high school, 17 years old. So you're 15 when you start your business. You own a
Yeah.
landscaping business called Gus's
Yeah.
Groundskeeping. You have such a cool website. We all are obsessed. So fun. And
It needs some work.
it's got a fun personality to it. But Gus, you've already made a name for yourself in the community, providing quality lawn care service to your customers. And we're just so excited to talk to you more about how you're already achieving freedom in your life. It's incredible. So, I mean, Gus, tell us how did you even start? What motivated you to start? How did this even
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah. Well, I've always been interested in owning a business. I've had always done like small stuff, like like lemonade stands. I don't know if you remember fidget spinners. Those were
Oh yeah.
like the little toys a while ago. But when I was in like fifth grade, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like buy them wholesale from China and then sell them to everybody. So I bought like 50 of them, sold to everybody. That was kind of fun. But I was always didn't have any like business that I could stick with for a long time. And because we used to move around a lot. When I was younger, like in elementary school, my dad worked for the State Department, so we would go to like Poland. We lived in Poland for like 2 years in Hungary, and so we were always moving around. So I couldn't like really start something that would last for a while. But once we got back here, once we decided we were gonna like stay here for a while. I was like, I can start the lawn mowing company. It's pretty like standard business if you're not sure what you want to do. So I was like, okay, that's fun. And then I saw some like blog posts of some kid. They were like, I make $1,000 a month, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a ton of money. I need to do that. So I started out just like shoveling snow at first, and I would just knock on everybody's door. Yeah, I had like post-it notes with my like phone number. Didn't even have a phone. It's like Google Voice. I got like a free Google Voice number because I didn't have a phone, and like my email. So I give that to everybody, and then started out with my next door neighbor, first customer, and then just got like the cheapest lawnmower from Home Depot and weed whacker. It was probably like $500 or something. And my dad just spotted me. He's like, "Okay, you got to mow our lawn for the year, and then you're good to go." So okay, that sounds like a good deal. And I just kept like knocking on people's doors just constantly. And then what I realized, if I knock on door for like an hour, I'd get a new customer. So I just did that a
Wow.
bunch in the first year and got like 20 customers in the first year and made like $10,000. So that was pretty good
Good
the
job.
first year. And then got into I blew a lot of money on getting like electric equipment, which ended up being kind of a waste of money because it was like this like really low quality kind of. It wasn't made for the standards of like Pennsylvania spring, like grass growing at 2 feet a day, but it
Right.
was okay. It was worth a shot. And then I turned 16, so I got my truck, and then that's when things, I expanded the territory a little bit. I got all my friends working for me. And one day we had like 7 guys just doing one person's property. It's like, wow, you've grown quite a bit. That was kind of funny. And then there was a senior who was graduating, so he sold me like 30 or 40 customers.
Wow.
So that got us to like 80, and then everything was going pretty well. And then right before I went back to school, I realized it was way too big to keep doing in school because I'm a pretty big athlete. So after school, I'm running till like 5 or 5:30, and it gets dark a couple hours after that. So there wasn't any time. So I realized gotta hire somebody. So
Hmm.
I posted an ad on ZipRecruiter. Got like first guy interviewed, showed up, he's hired. I trained him up for one day, and I was like, okay, it's all you.
How old was your first employee? I know you're not allowed to ask that in an interview,
Yeah.
but I'm
No,
curious.
no, he was 19, so he was pretty young too. So that was nice. And and struggled through because I couldn't like teach him too much stuff, but he was always like happy to learn. And if I ever got like a complaint, just go back and fix it. That got us through this year. And then he was planning to stick with us. Well, so like during the winter, there wasn't any work for him. So he was like on unemployment and looking for a temporary job. And then right before like 2 weeks before we started mowing, he called me up. He's like, I just got a job as like a mail carrier, which is obviously not a very temporary job. So he said he's going to be doing that. And so I was like, man, okay. And then got another ad on ZipRecruiter, interviewed a couple people. Actually, I have an interview today at 7 for a second guy. He's a veterinarian. He's looking for a career change. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, we got a guy named Sean. He's top notch. He's really just looking to do good work, and it's a little bit tough, like because I'm not there with people, so they have to be good like on their own and pretty trustworthy. But I think he's doing a great job. So that's where we're at this year, looking to explode. You know, I got a second truck, like last month. You know, I was kind of worried about doing it too early, but I think we'll have enough work once we get out of the spring to justify it and keep everybody busy. So that's the goal.
That's incredible. And I mean, have you taken any business classes in high school, or you just kind of figuring this out?
I mean, a lot of YouTube videos. If you're looking to start a lawnmower company, there's this one guy, Mike Andes. Oh my gosh,
Mike is awesome.
Yeah, have you seen him?
Oh yeah, yeah. I watched a lot of his stuff. He's great. He's phenomenal.
Gosh.
For sure.
I'm gonna add it. I actually recently took like a 2-month break from all of his content because I had a dream and somehow he was in there, and so I said, okay, we're taking a break. I love my Andes, but that's gone a little bit too far. So I recently put the pause on that. But no, he is so much good stuff, and it really changes the equation. Like I genuinely like if I wasn't. He's very clear roadmaps of like what you need to do at what size if you want to grow at a certain speed. So I'm like, okay, I'm right here. I know like I need to get my website good. I need to be on pay for performance. I need like a couple of things I know that I need to do, and it's just about doing that. And it's kind of like I don't know where it would be if I had to like think about what direction or what things I have to do. It'd just be a completely different dynamic. So YouTube definitely a big part of what I do.
I mean, there's a lot of people double, triple your age that will watch YouTube video but never implement. So I think it's incredible that not only are you consuming that content, but actually using it. And
I think the fact too that you're so young, it's so refreshing to see how fearless you can be starting out so early and just kind of getting all of the knowledge and soaking it in, and then just like Michelle said, implementing it. Because like she was saying, people double, triple your age can like take in all of this information and just be too afraid to actually launch. Even might know the next steps to do, but don't actually do it because of fear. And I think you have a really good running start to like something really awesome. Even if you pivot to any other business, you already have like the groundwork laid for how to create a business and what you need to do. Because it's scary to hire your first employee, buy your first truck. Like those are big things. You're dealing with a human, you're dealing with a big loan. And so understanding how to manage those two things is really cool because it's not so scary once you actually do it and you understand what you're doing. And so you've got a great upper hand on a lot of your competition, which is really cool.
How do you manage school with it? I mean, I think Maddie was the one who first talked to you. And she was telling us that only your math teacher will let you answer business calls in class. So we want to like send a reward to your math teacher because she's like, that's amazing. But tell me, how do you do it? How do you go to school and you said you're involved sports and everything and manage your business.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of last year my grades definitely I had like really good grades, and then last year I took a bit of a hit, which was like I don't know the way I think about it is for me like running is the most important thing for me, and so I'm like okay I'm not going to sacrifice running for anything because you can be like an elite level runner if you spend like an hour and a half a day running you can be like top notch. Like okay the time commitment there is always going to be worth it. Like I can't like skip a run because I'm gonna mow one lawn like that. It's just not a good trade-off. But after that, then I'm like, okay, and I got to get like my goal for schoolwork is to do like really well, but I'm like a minimalist for school, so I want to spend as little effort as possible to like keep the grades to like a certain level, and then the business then is just like okay, all the rest of my time I'm just gonna spend working on that. But yeah, it's kind of I don't know, kind of weird. Yeah, I have a study hall this year, which is good. I never had any study halls, but this year I got a study hall, and we have a weird schedule. So it ends up being like 2.5 hours in the middle of the day, so I can pretty much get all the homework done then, and just be free the rest of the time.
Gus,
So,
I think that you are like way wise beyond your years by what you even said there of like prioritizing that you love running and that, you know, that $50 or whatever you'd make off that one lawn, that you're not going to let that short-term wind take you away from your focus of knowing your long-term goal or
yeah,
long-term aspirations and passions. Because I think that's something that business owners struggle so much with is how do you prioritize all these different things and stay balanced even with your own passions and pursuits while running a business. And the fact that you can already recognize that and say, okay, you know, I'm not going to, take that quick money right there. That's going to actually hurt me in the long run. I have no pun intended from like what my dreams are. I think that's incredible. That's incredibly wise. So kudos to you.
The only part where it's kind of tough is like okay, let's say like the ideal time for me to run is like I don't know 10 o'clock in the morning or something. But then I'm like okay, I could push the run off to like later in the night. It wouldn't like then it's kind of tough. It's like am I sacrificing running? And like a little bit, but like that's where it gets. That's the only part where it's kind of like complicated because I'm not sure like where the distinction lies there. If I'm like marginally hurting one, but like taking a lot away from the other, that's kind of a tough part. But that's just I don't know something I got to figure out.
There's a lot of gray. There's a lot of gray in trying to balance everything. So
I was kind of along the same line of thought with Michelle when you were saying when you're talking about your running, because I think a lot of people can relate to that. What we like to talk about is our non-negotiables a lot.
Yeah.
What are our non-negotiables? And I can tell you up front for my husband and I, skipping the gym is non-negotiable. I have to go in the morning at 5. He has to go in the afternoon at 1. And we rarely will miss that for anything except maybe our children, because our children would be our top priority over our marriage and things like that. So it's like you have to figure out what your non-negotiables are and actually make the time, prioritize and stick to those times. Because like you said, you might push your running off to later in the day, but are you sacrificing it? You kind of are, because you're making the tiny excuse in your head and you're like, yeah, I could do it later. And that's kind of the trap if you could do that consistently all the time. But everybody, even your relationships, like we've seen marriages suffer from businesses because they don't prioritize each other. They don't prioritize self-care, whatever it may be. It might not be running or going to the gym. It could be other things like getting a massage or, whatever. And we can get so caught up in just the business that we lose ourselves and our relationships and stuff, which means we're trapped by our business. We're not. So
well, and I think you're smart too. I mean, even, the fact you reach out to Jill's office, like you're looking for or trying to hire employees, you're looking for other resources and ways that you can run as fast as you can with growing your business, doing everything your personal life and your education, so growing up and all that kind of stuff, but also find other resources and people that can help you to, propel your business while you still are juggling all these other balls in the air too. So that's incredible. And as Nicole was saying earlier, a great leap of courage too, because it's a lot of responsibility to have to actually pay someone on a consistent basis and all that kind of thing. So, what advice would you give to other young entrepreneurs who are wanting to start something up, but just not sure how to do it or if they can do it? I mean, where do you find your courage and strength?
Yeah, Okay, if somebody's going to start a lawn mowing company, let's see, if they're going to start a lawn mowing company like right now, okay, I would say watch a lot of Mike Andy's videos. Okay, no, well, actually, no, don't watch the videos. Okay, here's the beautiful thing about lawn mowing, and this is beautiful. While you're mowing, okay, you can listen to all the business side of the lawn mowing. So as you're actually getting the work done, you can
Multitasking.
simultaneously be listening to like podcasts, like audiobooks, YouTube videos, like at the same time. And that way you're like it's double time because
Literally
you can
lawn and
learn
learn.
like all the
Lawn
Doing
and
what you're
learn.
doing.
There
yeah,
you go.
exactly. Lawn and learn. I'll make an online course
There's your
about
name for
lawn
your
and
new
learn
YouTube
and
channel. You know
specifically
it.
designed now. Yeah, but yeah, so no. Okay. If you're starting a lawn mowing, okay, definitely watch the Mike Andy's videos. And then just do that. And that's literally all you need to do. Because he's literally done like hundreds of locations. So like, I don't know, some like I have a hard time like taking advice from some people because if somebody gives some advice and they've only done it with themselves, like you think about like a scientific process. You got to repeat it a whole bunch of times to make sure it's not just some like outlier or it just happens to be like that. You repeat it enough times and you actually know what the causes are that are actually affecting the variables. But he literally has hundreds of locations, and so pretty much what he says, he's not making something up, or it doesn't just happen to be like that. So my advice is Mike Andes. That's
No, though, there's incredible wisdom in that. Oh, I mean, again, you just nailed it. It's number one, find people who can shorten the time curve. Because you find someone like Mike who's actually had success, who's done this business. You can learn from his successes and also his failures so that you don't have to go through that and just shorten that time, that learning curve immensely. So I think that's super smart. And also when you are looking to find people to learn from, ones that have actually done it, because there's a lot of people that can just talk the talk, but the ones that have actually grown the business and had success, those are the ones you listen to. So there's tons of wisdom there.
Yeah, and
So
another thing that I would say is, like I did this last year. So every time I see like a lawn mowing company or like a landscaping company, I just ask them introduce myself like, hey, I'm Gus. I'm just starting a lawn mowing company. If you have any like lawn customers you don't want or too much work or something, if you'd love to have it. And most of the guys are like, nah, I need everything. But once in a while, somebody will be like, oh, sure, I'll start forwarding all these people to you. And last year, I probably got like 40 calls or something just because whenever they got a new customer, they were like booked up. And they just, send them over to, I was like, wow, that's pretty generous because they gave a lot of work. And so that was crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
How are your parents just super supportive? Have they questioned
Yeah.
all what you're doing? Or
My parents they're pretty laissez-faire. They're good, like pretty much letting me. The one thing, don't do drugs. That's the one important thing. But other than that, they don't really care what I do.
And you said you've just had entrepreneur bug since you were young then. So in your fidget spinners, I love that not only that you had that idea, but you actually did it. You said you actually bought them wholesale and sold them.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we had that idea.
We did, but we didn't
For
do
our
it.
kids and we didn't do it.
So that's amazing. I think my kids made some out of like Legos because I never like helped them find a manufacturer to buy them from and just sold them on the street. But that's incredible. You have amazing drive.
Yeah.
People want to know too. So you mentioned you're in Pennsylvania, right? Because I don't think we talked about that in the beginning. And what are a couple of like big, I guess, obstacles that you've been hit with in the past since you've opened? Like some big things that have kind of set you back or you had to overcome?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I would say I really haven't had any like big like problems that I've noticed. There might have been some problem that like was a minor hiccup, but I probably just skipped over it. If I'm trying to, let's see. So starting it up wasn't a big issue. Let's see. Well, like getting an employee was so something that if I was going to do it again, I think could have been a lot better. I think I should have gotten an employee earlier because I was very like scared about like not scared, but my dad was kind of advising against getting like a full-time employee. He was, I don't know, he's saying there would be all these taxes and stuff, and Well, I ended up doing that, so it's not that big a deal. But I would do that earlier because like once you cross that bridge, I feel like that like after I got the first like full-time employee, getting another one wasn't that big a deal. You just put an ad on ZipRecruiter, do a couple interviews, bada bing, bada book. You got a person. But I was getting really stressed before that because I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get like 5 friends. We're gonna do it for like 2 hours, and I don't know. I didn't think it was gonna work, but like crossing that bridge and actually getting my first like full-time employee. Also, like doing taxes. That we're doing taxes this year, which what I wouldn't say it's a huge hiccup if you get like a good CPA and like an accountant, because I was really scared that like I wasn't keeping good enough track of stuff and that they would like not have any idea what to do with it. But what I realized is that okay, in the lawn care industry, there's lots of people who do not engage with the bookie side of things, so they're pretty used to somebody coming to them with just like a credit card statement and their like bank history and just saying like I don't know what to do. So they're pretty helpful, and it's okay.
I love it.
That's-
Well, Gus, we're like your biggest cheerleaders. We're glad to be kind of a part of your journey, and and we're just going to be cheering you on, like as you continue to grow and expand. And thank you so much for joining us today and just sharing how you're finding freedom. I love it. Do you have any
Yeah.
other?
Yeah, no, it's just super impressed. I'm super impressed. I think you're going to do amazing things. And I'm excited to see where it goes. It sounds like you've got people probably working out training and processes as you grow and you're still in school. So you're doing great. I'm sure your parents are proud that you're doing that part for them probably, but also your business for yourself. So yeah, I am amazed. You're doing great. So,
Yeah,
it's cool.
What's your favorite run? Do you do long distance or short running?
Yeah, I'm a distance guy. I'm like mile, 2 mile, and like 5K.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how fast do you run a mile?
My best mile is 4:28.
That's incredible.
It's pretty fast. It's decent, but this year my goal is sub 4:20. So I got a race tomorrow.
I would die. Like we're training. Nicole and I are going to run a Ragnar this year for the first time, and so we're training, and we're just proud if it's under 10. Like I'm like 14. I'm 14. I'm like,
what's a Ragnar? I don't know.
A Ragnar, it's like a relay race. So you have a team of 8 people, and you all. How much do you collectively run?
Collectively, I don't know, but it's 18 miles.
18 times 18. 18 times 8, whatever that is for math people.
We all run 8.
Yeah, we're doing it around Zion National Park, and so it will be fun. But
that's cool.
Yeah, we're nowhere near that. That's incredible.
over COVID, I got because I was so bored. I got into like distance running, like serious distance, and I started with like a marathon. Like one day I just went and I just kept going, and I got to like 10 miles. I was like, oh, this is the farthest I've ever gone. And I was like, oh, what if I just kept going for a marathon? And then I just went for like 28 miles.
You just did it? Oh
wow.
my gosh.
Okay.
So
I was like delirious by the end because I didn't bring any I didn't even eat breakfast or like eat any food or anything. I was just like so exhausted.
Not prepped at all. You just ran a marathon.
I didn't even have the thought until like 13 miles in because I was like, oh, I'm going to run a half marathon. And then I was like, oh,
okay, like a normal person, they're like, I would die now. 13 miles. Like, let's do another 13.
Yeah, well, I was feeling so, well, I just had this thought. I was like, yo, I feel like I could go forever. And I was like, oh, you know what follows that? Let's see if I can actually go forever. I felt so crazy. But I was like, okay. The last like 4 miles were kind of brutal though. I was like, oh, it's kind of hard. But then like I kept doing like I did like after that I like rested for a little bit. And then I did another marathon, a different route, and I did like a 50K where I just like went out in the morning and just ran and like braked for the entire day, and I got back. That was fun. And then like the end of the summer before like cross country season started, I hit a 50 miler. That was my like crowning jewel.
Miles, wow.
It's like a mile around my neighborhood, so I just like did that 50 times straight. Looking back, it was very boring, but I was very happy when I was Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're not wasting them. Sounds like you got amazing character, amazing drive. Keep going for it.
You got to
Reach for the
get your
moon.
employees to run with you, because
Yeah.
there's no better way to get people to do work in the service industry by making sure that they're physically fit. Like, honestly, because my husband and I have a house cleaning business also, and like, you literally need to be healthy and strong to be able to bend and stoop and reach and scrub and
Hey, that's an idea.
yeah.
I can start like a workout regimen. That's what like once I get a shop, I was really excited. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get like a nice like bench and like squat rack. And before you like after you get there, it's gonna be like a mandatory like a couple reps. Because like for weightlifting at least, I feel like you can get a lot of gains. It's just like you like the marginal return on the first like couple sets is like huge. So like, okay, if I have them do like 1 or 2 sets in the morning, 1 or 2 sets at night, then they would literally get like twice as jacked just by doing that.
Yeah. And if you're
Like,
paying them for it, like, why not?
oh yeah. I just feel like, all right, yeah, you're on the clock, mandatory. Hey, do some workouts. Yeah. It'd be
I
fun.
love it. Well, keep it up, Gus. Your inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Bye. See ya.
Bye.